Hello everyone, welcome back to Walls of WoCCLP1. We are on Down the Rabbit Hole level 85, which this probably would have been more ideal to upload on, or well, both upload and record on Easter, which just passed, but I unfortunately did not have the time to do so that day, but that's besides the point. So I'm going to go ahead and flat out say right now, this is like my 5th attempt at recording this video. And let alone just this level. Needless to say, the few attempts I've had at this prior, and this is all the same night. I started recording a little after 12:30 in the morning. It's almost 3 now, and I still haven't beaten the level because I've always come across some issue in this level. I can tell you right now, about an hour alone was in one room, and JB probably already knows what room that is without even saying anything. The remainder of the time has just been random breaks I took in between attempts, or another section that stumped me for about 20 minutes, which was completely stupid because the solution was in front of my face the entire time. Yeah, needless to say, I'm not in the best mood right now, and I probably shouldn't even be having this 5th attempt right now. I should just try again in the morning. But I have told both JB and Kiera, I think that's how you pronounce her name. I apologize if that's incorrect, but I do tend to mispronounce names pretty easily, so if it is incorrect, I do sincerely apologize. But anyway, here's to hoping that I have a smooth ride with this level finally. As mentioned, this is the Walls of Going Underground, which is a level I have in WoCCLP1. It was apparently the highest rated walker level, which even to this day still surprises me. But I can kind of see that being the case for something like WoCCLP1. So yeah, unfortunately this level isn't 100% blind, but to be fair, the level itself wasn't really blind at all, because there's a video on my channel that, if you recall, this level was at one point busted. And it was kind of weird to actually spot the bust. And the bust was in the tank button room, conveniently enough. And yes, that was the room that I was stuck on for well over an hour because I could not figure out the trick to it. But I finally figured it out, and you can argue and say that I should have kept the recording that showed me figuring out the trick to it. However, that was about 50 minutes of figuring it out. And if you want my honest opinion, that really wouldn't be the smartest thing to do to upload. Because at that point, I was ranting about the level, saying I disliked it because of it, blah blah blah. This is where the hint is, walls from going underground. I had a hunch that that would be used for the secret hint, whenever JB did make this level. But anyway, it just wasn't going to be something enjoyable to watch. And I did think about making it like bonus content for like after the LP's over, but even as bonus content, that wouldn't be smart to upload. So I just kind of rendered it gone. It's in my recycle bin, but I'm not going to restore it because that was a very stupid video. So the trick to this room that took me an hour to realize, and it actually didn't take me a full hour to figure it out. I actually figured out the trick maybe 30 minutes into this section, which is still a long time, mind you, but I was trying to execute it. So the obvious thing you would think you'd have to do is you have to trap every monster in its respective section with the blocks you're given. Well, you can't do that because you're only given 4 blocks, and you need 2 for this fireball, and you also need 2 for these 2 guys down here, the teeth and the ball. So you have to figure out a way to use 1 block for one of these things. The ball up at the top right there, you absolutely need to block off, which was a dead giveaway. So the conclusion I came to was you have to sync a monster up with the teeth, and I automatically assumed you have to sync it with the ball, and it's in the same room. Since naturally they're both in the same room, therefore they're easier to sync because there's ice on both sides, or ice on the same side that they're bouncing off of. So I was trying to sync the ball and this teeth together, and it just didn't work. So I ended up trapping that ball down there and keeping this ball untrapped and try to sync it with this one, and that also didn't work, which led to the conclusion that this fireball was the answer. And then I started thinking, well, how do you sync the teeth with the fireball? The fireball has to hit a tank button every other move. And that's when it hit me that I knew that was going to happen. That's another thing about the level I don't like. I'll get more into that as I proceed onward. But you have to sync the teeth with the fireball to solve this room. Which that is a super clever trick that took me a while to figure out, but even longer to execute. So you have to trap that ball, and then you have to sync up the fireball in this corner right here, because that's the only place that I can see that you can sync it up like that. And then the tank stops moving and the fireball stops cloning. So the way this was broken before was this used to be a straight path with the red key and just a tank. Well, there was due to the frequency the monsters are hitting the tank buttons in, there was actually a possible time where the tank would stay in place, but it would still flip, but it would stay in place, if that makes sense. This is MS, for the record. It would stay in place long enough next to the red key that you can grab the red key without actually doing anything with the blocks. Which was kind of cool to see that was a possibility, but I wasn't going to let that stay in the level. I think had I not mentioned it, someone else would have reported it anyway. But still, it was just the right thing to do to mention it myself. So, one thing about going underground's walls that I 150% regret and wish the WoCCLP1 staff gave me the option to fix was this bottom right corner with that exit mechanism. going underground, at the very end of the level, there was a random bug and fire that you had to avoid after all the walker dodging. And the only reason why that was a part of the level in the first place was because of the context I was going for and the source set that going underground was initially created for, which was WoCCLP1. With that said, I was going for like a sort of lineup of levels, like not exactly story based, but okay, how did I do this earlier? I had it figured out and I just don't remember how to do it. It wasn't actually story based, but the lineup of levels kind of indicated that it was, if that makes sense. Oh, that wasn't how you do it. How did I do this before? I'm so sure. Oh, like this, right? And it just so happened that going underground was right before a level that the following level after going underground in WoCCLP1 was a level that involved dodging bugs and fire, which is the only reason why that section even existed in going underground. And I wish I was given the opportunity to remedy that before CCLP1 was released, but I just wasn't given the option to, which kind of sucks, but it's whatever. So, what are my thoughts on this level after countless hours of trying to get this solved on a single attempt, or let alone just getting it solved at all? I think there's a good mixture of pros and cons with this level. The pros, every individual section is pretty good. I like the theme of what the level is going for. Like, each individual section except this lower right section with the walkers on ice is dedicated to buttons in some way. The upper right with the glider cloners is red buttons, obviously. The tank button room is self-explanatory. The green button room, which was kind of a little throwback to Double Time Warehouse, I believe. That room was, like, there was absolutely no options with that room. Unless you deliberately wanted to cook the level. There was no options. So that room was probably the easiest one out of the whole level. Even this non-button room. And then the Sokoban up top, that for whatever reason stumped me for 15 or so minutes in one attempt, but I think at that point I was just getting frustrated with everything else, so I was losing my concentration on solving that Sokoban. But it wasn't even hard. The hardest part for me was the tank button room, without a doubt. Realizing that you have to sync up the tank buttons definitely requires you to think outside the box, which I appreciate the fact that the level enforces you to do that. If anything, I've had a much greater respect for levels that enforce you thinking outside the box. It's something I've been trying to capture in the levels I design nowadays, at least for CC1. I don't think I can ever do that for CC2, to be completely honest, but that's a different story. So I do like that aspect. The execution was pretty good as well. I'm not really hindering the execution of anything, really. The one thing about the level that I can safely say I don't really care for was the way the rooms were connected. That is with the thin walls and the paramecia and the bugs. I think the level would have been a tad bit stronger if none of that existed. Because all that really did was make you all it would do is keep you on your toes on where to turn and where to, like, in the directions where to go. If you wanted to get to a very specific room first, you have to follow a very specific path to get to that room first, and that obviously takes some time. Now, that part I'm not really against, but I think the level would have been just a tad bit better without any of that. Just have all the empty space and have you just go in whatever way you want to go and not have to have a care in the world and having to dodge a monster or so. That's just my opinion. This is not my level. I did not design it. This is obviously what JB wanted, and I can respect that. That's just my 2 cents. After all the frustration I have, I still like this level. The synchronizing the tanks, I think, was really well played. I just kind of wish it was more obvious. But I don't think anything can be really done about that. And that's that. We can finally move on to particulate matter stabilization. And I'm going to turn my sound on again, because I don't know if you noticed, I had my sound off that whole time. Because I was getting very irritated with the constant button presses. So we have ourselves a maze, and I think this is Flipside. Now, there was a suggestion I made to JB about the walls of Flipside level that he would make. I think this basically keeps the configurations of the gravel, the toggle buttons, and where the toggle walls were, and just basically replaced them with different tiles. Essentially making it a very easy to execute maze level, which I'm okay with. It's actually a good time to actually talk about stuff. I'll go up there later, if I even can go up there. Oh, I can. Cool. Oh yeah, that's where the exit was in the original level. So, prior to the last video, now I'm not really one that really cares for likes per se on my videos. Like, I do care for them, but I'm not gonna be like, smash that like button or anything like that. That's not a call out, by the way. I watch a few YouTubers that actually do that, and it is kind of annoying. Depends on who the YouTuber is. I mean, I know someone did that before, and it never bothered me. I actually got kind of a joy when that said person did it, and you probably know who I'm talking about. That's besides the point. That's not the point I'm trying to make. The point I'm trying to make is, I do care for likes. Like, obviously, if I see a dislike on the video, I'm gonna want to know why that exists. But I mean, I'm not gonna throw a fit over it. So, upon the last recording, I was honestly expecting at least one dislike, and I bet you anything someone's gonna go back to that video right now and leave a dislike just because I said that, because that's how some people in the community are. So then that's fine, you know. But I expected that initially. What surprised me was the amount of likes I ended up getting on the video, and I'm more than likely to believe that is only because I'm not in the server, and people, someone or something, I don't know, someone must have linked my video in the server, and more people watched it because I wasn't a part of the server. Oh, we got teleports too. That makes things a little interesting. But I was surprised with the amount of likes. And I just have to say, I appreciate that no hate was really given. Actually, it got more comments in as well. Obviously, JB's comment about the levels that was played was left, which I expected. Someone asked for my Discord name, and I'm not against giving it, but I'm not going to make it public in a YouTube comment. So if you really want it, you're going to have to message me somehow, like on YouTube. I don't know if messaging on YouTube is even a thing still. But if it is, I will see it, and I will give it to you then. Just not in a public YouTube video. Someone said the server even has gotten worse since I left, which I don't know about now, but I mean at the time it was. But you know, I have faith that the people that are running the server now, the moderators, the admins, all that stuff, I have faith in them that they will make it a better place, a much funner environment to be in. I do have my doubts, but those are just doubts. Those are obviously meant to be proven wrong. And you know, I would love to get, you know, I do want to come back. I do miss it. You know, in some way I do, and in some ways I don't. Like, I've been away from the server for a little over a week now, and I have to tell you and be completely honest with you, I have been a much happier person in general since leaving it. I've been focusing on myself more often. You know, I got a new job because of it. Well, not a new job because I left the server. That'd be kind of stupid if that happened. But you know, I focused on getting another job for myself so I can take my mind off things and make money to pay my financial stuff that I was stressing about prior to leaving the server. You know, just things like that. I've just been happier in general. And honestly, I'm kind of afraid if I do come back, that won't be the case anymore. I'm afraid I might be unhappy again. And I hate to say that, because it makes it sound like people in the server were making me unhappy, which wasn't true. At least most of the time. But I don't know. We'll just have to see what the future holds. I mean, that's really all I can say. I just wanted to say, you know, thanks for not giving me any hate or anything like that for, you know, talking about the server without being in it, because that was the very first thing I was expecting, was a lot of lashback for talking about it. Okay, so the suggestion I made to JB was to include something in the hint that says "see you on the flip side," because he's always said that in his videos. So let's see if he actually did it. Walls and chips from Flipside. Oh, really? You didn't do it? Oh, JB, that's... It might just be me, but I feel like that's a missed opportunity. That might just be me. Also, I did notice something up here. There's a random patch of ice right there. I don't know why. That feels very off. But in any case, we are done with particulate matter stabilization, which is just a cool way of saying that was a cool blue wall in an appearing wall maze level. Nice breather. Alright, School of Hard Knocks. Alright. Oh, we got a Silkman with recessed walls. Well, that solves it, but I just undid it to get myself out. Okay. So let's go up this time. Okay, this is chip suey. I know that because this is the wall pattern I used myself for a Josh L6 level called Pachiyesu, which is just an acronym, or not acronym, a anagram of chip suey. Ah, there we go. That's an interesting Silkman. I like it. Alright, what's this? A boot puzzle. This kind of reminds me of a CC2 level, which is weird because you can't do this in CC2. I forget the name of the level though. I think it was called Cobbler. It might just be the thin walls that make me think of it. I'm not sure, but okay, let's grab the flippers first, because I don't think I need... No, I just need the skates. So the skates are the last thing I need to get. Okay, so let's go down here. Grab the suction boots next. And then the skates. Okay, that's actually pretty simple. Okay. So how... I think I want 4. Yeah, 4. The glider will close the toggle doors in 8 moves when the button is pressed. Walls from chip suey. Close the toggle doors in 8 moves. Okay. What is this? What's this section? Okay. So I think let's free that. Okay, so I assume, yeah, it's like that. Ew. Ew, that's not good. Can't do that. So was I supposed to keep the chip right there? That's the only thing I could think of that I was supposed to do. What's in this? Whoa, hello. Okay, I assume these all clone pink balls. Let's go down here. Oh. Now that's a cool way to use that section. That's a cool way to use that. Oh, this is this is a thief you've taken all that was me, basically. Okay, so I think I already screwed it up because of this tank configuration. There's nothing I can do about it. Like, I can't even go get the chip, so we have to start over. So I know I did this, I know I did this, I know I did that, and then I did this. Very fun Sokoban at the start, I like it. Okay, this was easy. And then that. Oh, I'm dumb. I fell for the obvious trap. So, one thing I've done this week, I worked my shifts at my new job all weekend, or all this last weekend. I really like the job. It's very chill for a restaurant job, like an actual restaurant. I got a couple questions from some people about if the job is going to affect my uploading schedule. And to be completely honest, I don't think it will. I don't really foresee it ever really affecting my upload schedule. I mean, first and foremost, what uploading schedule? I mean, I upload at random times, essentially. So, I don't know. But I can tell you right now that I don't really foresee it ever getting to a point where my work schedule will affect my uploading schedule. I mean, if it ever does, I'll be sure to let you guys know that it could potentially do that, but at this very moment, I don't see it doing that. Okay, so obviously I need to have the fire boots be last for this top section and the skates last for this bottom section. So let's see where the rest are. Okay, I think I see how to do it. So I think it's flippers, suction boots, skates, and then the suction boots. And you go up there. And then you go flippers, or no, you go fire boots, flippers, suction boots, and then all the way down to the skates. All right, let's do that. Okay. And now we'll do this, that, go all, and wrap all the way around to get the skates. Okay. And now I can proceed to go this way, which I need to just do that. Okay, so I want to do that. So now I have kind of similar to what we did in a key for every door. Yeah, very similar to that actually. Oh no. Okay, what are we doing? What are we doing here? I can't see this section that good. Oh, okay, so it is like that. Okay, well that was pretty cool. Tricky, but cool. Okay, so I did screw it up because I grabbed one blue key too many. And unfortunately, that means failure for us. That is kind of a bummer, but oh well. I like this level though. It's like a nice little variety of things, and the good thing about this is that the level I made out of Chip Suey's walls is also kind of a variety-ish type of level. So I don't feel too bad about what I built out of it compared to other walls of levels I made into random variety levels. And this tank section is really cool. Like all the individual sections here are really well created. I almost went for it, and I remember, no, I can't do that. I believe there was a level in WoCCLP1 that had this kind of... Really? That is the worst way you can screw yourself. And then that too. I believe there was a level in WoCCLP1 though that had that concept of a monster hitting a toggle button or something every certain amount of moves, or I think it was seconds actually. And I think that really killed the level idea for that level. But when it's moves like that and you can actually see the glider doing it, that's a pretty flawless idea. Alright, do this first. It's kind of weird that these are open, but it's all good. And I guess if you time it right, you can keep them open for another frame or another cycle, which is kind of cool. Okay, so I know I technically don't have to do the thief room first, but I'm going to go ahead and do it anyway because it's something I know how to do already. Okay, so let's be a little smarter about this. Okay, I think I got it. There we go. Now I just gotta get this one now. Okay. So now we can go ahead and exit. School of Hard Knocks is done. That was a fun level. Like, legitimately fun. Like, every section was nice. Like, I love variety levels that do that type of stuff. I would call this variety. I don't know if it actually is, but I'm going to call it one. And the wall pattern just really works well for it, in my opinion. I really liked everything that the level had. Put me in a much better mood than I was when I was playing Down the Rabbit Hole. Snow Koban. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and end off the video here. For one, I don't know how long this recording is, and two, this one might actually stump me a little bit, and I want to have a better mindset going into this than I did with Down the Rabbit Hole. I did still like that level, though. Just for the record, I did, but I have my issues with it, just to say the least. So, until next time, guys, we will see you then. We will finish off this decade and start the 90s, hopefully. I don't see any reason why I can't do that unless 89 or 90 stops me. But we're gonna just kind of push for it regardless. So we'll see you next time.